After I lost all my cash in Macau, I couldn't withdraw the money and I couldn't bear to leave. I had no choice but to do anything. Suddenly I thought of Alipay. If anyone is willing, I am willing to lose some money and exchange RMB for Hong Kong dollars 1-to-1. I went to the cashier's office to look at the beauties who had won money and were kind-hearted. I said, "Beauty, I have no money. Can I use Alipay to transfer RMB to you, and you can exchange it for me Hong Kong dollars 1-to-1? Some people were too lazy to answer. I probably thought I was a liar. Finally, a young lady exchanged 20,000 yuan with me, doubtful. It was obvious that he was the one who suffered the loss. The exchange rate between the two currencies was only 0.80. A few tens of thousands or 20,000 yuan could be exchanged for about 23,000 Hong Kong dollars. In this way, he would make a profit of 3,000 yuan in exchange for that beauty. Maybe all gamblers who have lost are like this. They don't care about the money at all. They spend the money and immediately go to fight. After a few struggles, they clear it, and then they clear it, until they can't make any money in Alipay, and then they feel at ease. Go back to your room and sleep. Perhaps once you get to the gambling table, you will release your own demons and become another self. It is really heartbreaking to quietly watch yourself sinking in the night. Man is a strange animal. Only lost things can discover beauty, and those beautiful things were just the most ordinary time at that time. The sudden words overnight, with a bit of coolness and desolation, chilled my troubled mind. What a long sleepless night it was. Calm down and do some careful calculation. It's only the second day after you arrived that you spent a small amount of 200,000 yuan. I came in a hurry and only brought this little money. I still had 1,000 yuan in my card and several hundred cash on me. At that time, I was feeling dizzy, thinking about why I was so impulsive, and thinking about inviting friends to dinner the next day. Alas, a long sigh, a fleeting thought of stopping, always being shelved again and again. Those unwilling little devils occupied too much space, and the ruthless entertainment center swallowed me up little by little in its ups and downs. The environment of the hotel is very good, but I couldn't fall asleep even if I wanted to. Basically, I would wake up after a short nap. It is said that the room had enough oxygen, which kept me in a state of excitement. The next day, I asked my family for more than 30,000 yuan, treated my friend to a meal, and asked him a lot about his attempts. He said I was stupid. I lost money when exchanging money with others yesterday. After dinner, he took me to one of the pawn shops that can be found everywhere on the street, telling me that if I wanted to play, it would be more cost-effective to go there and swipe my card. He wanted to accompany me, but I was embarrassed to waste his time and let him go first. After saying goodbye to him, I only had about 30,000 yuan with me. I kept a few thousand yuan in my fortune and spent all the rest. I went to King Kong alone and spent the next few days struggling there. Looking at the gold bricks at the entrance of the lobby, I felt extremely emotional. The glamour and wealth are just passing smoke. I was pretty lucky that day, and I got back more than 200,000 yuan from more than 30,000 yuan. This time I was a little relieved, and I was hungry. I wanted to have a meal and relax myself, so I went directly to the best sauna in the Emperor Hotel on the 10th floor. After a lot of ups and downs, I felt like I was reborn and immediately went to the casino to continue fighting. I'm really lucky. Early Zhuang and Early Sen have been connected for a long time. I always kill the opponent at 8 or 9 points. More and more people were watching, and some even bet 150,000 yuan. Although my bet was not the biggest, people still kept asking me to check the cards because I was relatively prosperous. I turned around and saw that there were at least 3 rows of people behind us to suppress the momentum and catch up with the flag-raising ceremony at Tiananmen Square in Beijing. As soon as people took more puffs and rode, there were all kinds of cheers and praises. Some said the little handsome guy was really awesome, and some said the little handsome guy was awesome. But I would lose occasionally. Before long, I had a lot of chips on the table, and there were still several rows of people standing behind me. I thought I would lose the 9 gambling gods, so I would play 2 more games and then go back to the hotel. I paid 20,000 yuan for the risk, and I got 3 sides and 1 attack. The opponent still had a chance of 33 at 7 o'clock. I yelled to the crowd behind me, so everyone almost picked up the card, and they were very obedient, and gave me an 8. I did some calculations when exchanging money and found that I had won a total of 500,000, so I could sleep peacefully. Gamblers can't sleep wherever they want to win money, but they can't sleep if they want to win more, and they can't sleep even if they lose money and want to get back their money. I thought to myself that if I win 500,000, it would be great to go back if I win another 500,000. So by some strange coincidence, he went back to gambling and winning and losing. In the end, he was washed away, and then he made money to wash away his money, and the cycle continued. As a young boy who relies on his parents to support himself, I really admire my ability to make money. I lost more than 300,000 yuan in one night, plus the 200,000 yuan I lost in 2 days. I lost 500,000 yuan. After being cleared, one person had no choice but to smoke in the smoking room. When he found that there was no fire, he asked the girl next to him to borrow a fire. The girl wore a pure white off-shoulder dress, her beautiful collarbones looming, and the fabric of Miko's clothing was slightly reflective, like angel wings. The hem of the skirt curves from low to high, and is held up slightly elegantly, revealing the girl's long and beautiful legs as white as jade. He saw that I was quite young, so we started chatting. He is about the same age as me, and he is also the kind of person who sneaks into casinos. He said that he came to Macau with his mother, and his mother was playing cards upstairs, so he ran down alone to smoke. After chatting for a while, we found that we had a good rapport, so we added him on WeChat. I also went back to the room and lay down quietly. Not long after, he sent me a WeChat message saying he was bored and asked me if I was still playing cards. If I was in the room, he asked me to have a late-night snack. Macau is so dazzling at night. If I wasn't gambling, I would come here to play and it would have a different kind of scenery. We had supper with him, talked about life and ideals, and even went with him to visit the Dasanba Archway. In a strange environment, I was really miserable at the time, and I didn't have much money. I felt really happy to have someone to chat with, talk to, and hang out outside. The two of us wandered around until after 3 o'clock in the morning before returning to the hotel. It happened that our rooms were on the same floor. He said he was bored and wanted to stay at my place. I am a relatively shy person myself. I don't have the nerve to refuse what happens next. It's better for you to make up your mind. The girl came out of seclusion the next day and kept in touch with me occasionally after that. I couldn't get any money, so I left the customs and took the casino bus to the customs. Linzwa is a young woman in her 30s, wearing a light blue chiffon dress and a glittering golden necklace around her neck. Her hair was long and curled beautifully over her shoulders. She didn't have too many modifications, and my simple dress made her skin look like cream. She said I could call her Sister Lee. Sister Lee is quite a bit older than me, she is in her 30s this year, but she and I are very close to each other, maybe we have the same chemistry. She takes great care of me. After leaving Gongbei Port, he invited me to have a seafood meal in Zhuhai and said he would call me next time he went to Macau. She is simply a great player. At that time, she created the legend of being undefeated countless times in Macau, winning hundreds of thousands or even a million each time, just like playing. I was still a small gambler in front of her. When I heard her talk about playing cards worth hundreds of thousands, I felt that this person was out of my reach. I asked a friend to buy a plane ticket and flew back to Shanghai, ending my first trip to Macau in despair. Looking back on my experience, it was like a dream. When I woke up, I wished that none of this had ever happened. Losing 500,000 yuan is nothing to me. It's still too late to stop at this time. In fact, there are many opportunities to make corrections in life. If you make a wrong step, as long as you have the courage to look back, you will still be able to turn back the prodigal. But God has given me many such opportunities, but I never cherish them. Once the gates of hell are opened, they can never be closed again, just like that damn Pandora's box. 2 months have passed in the blink of an eye, and if you don't forget it, there will be echoes. The sun was shining that day, and I suddenly received a call from Sister Lee, asking me to go to Macau with her. Book your flight ticket immediately and take the earliest flight directly to Macau. You will finally have the opportunity to watch the legendary master fight against the casino. When we arrived in Macau, it was already evening. As night falls, the neon lights flashing everywhere make this small town charming and graceful. The unique multicultural and romantic atmosphere pervades the night. I was actually not in the mood to enjoy the fireworks in Macau at night, so I took a taxi directly to Wynn, which was the place we agreed on. Just on the opposite side of the road, Sister Lee also arrived late. At that gaming table, besides us, there was a man in his 50s from the Northeast. It's not that I offend my brother from the Northeast. I've met many people from the Northeast in Macau, and I feel like there are quite a lot of men there who like to gamble. That accent sounds like Uncle Benjamin's style. His bet wasn't particularly big, but it wasn't small either. He was very generous, with a single bet of 58,000 yuan. Next to him was a man who looked like a horse washer, and then there was an older woman, who should be his wife. I don't know if all the women in the Northeast like to wear makeup. They apply makeup and powder and look like an old witch. How can she compare to my Sister Lee? If you compare Sister Lee to Shizi, she always looks good with light makeup and heavy makeup. It is estimated that she will still be charming when she is in her 50s.